The landlord forced the door open after the neighbors complained about a smell that refused to fade. Cold air slipped out first, carrying a silence that felt unnatural. She sat there in the rocking chair, perfectly still, as if time had forgotten her. Her eyes faced the window that had been sealed shut from the inside. No sign of struggle. No overturned furniture, only a diary resting gently in her frozen hands. When the officer touched it, the chair moved slightly with a dry creak. The first page held a message written with terrifying calm. If you are reading this, they already know you are here. The hallway smelled of damp wood and forgotten time. Dust floated in the thin beam of a flickering ceiling light. Officer Lena Hart stepped carefully across the cracked tiles. Each footstep echoed as if the building itself listened. Apartment 3B stood at the very end, its door slightly open. A slow creaking sound rose as the door shifted with the cold draft. Neighbors said the woman inside had not been seen for weeks. No television noise, no footsteps, no laughter, only silence that pressed against the walls. Lena pushed the door wider with her gloved hand. The air that escaped carried the sour scent of stale medicine and something far worse. Her throat tightened. The living room curtains were sealed shut with tape. Not a single ray of sunlight entered. Empty pill bottles covered the coffee table like fallen soldiers. A single rocking chair moved back and forth. No breeze touched it. Lena froze. The faint scraping sound repeated with every swing. Forward, back, forward, back. On the chair sat the body of a woman wrapped in a gray blanket. Her skin had turned pale blue. Her eyes were half open, staring toward the sealed window, as if she waited for light that never came. Lena swallowed slowly and reached for her radio. Her voice trembled despite years of training. She reported the death with careful words, yet the apartment felt unwilling to release its secrets. Then she noticed a small leather book resting on the woman's lap, the diary. Its edges were worn smooth, as though it had been held during countless restless nights. Lena hesitated before touching it. The woman's fingers were stiff around the cover. It took gentle effort to free the book. When Lena opened it, a brittle page crackled loudly in the quiet room. The first line was written in neat ink. I hear them again tonight. Lena frowned and turned the page. The scratching comes from inside the walls. A faint tapping sound interrupted her reading. She looked up sharply. 3 quick knocks echoed from somewhere deep within the apartment. She held her breath. The sound stopped. Only the rocking chair continued its slow rhythm. Lena forced her eyes back to the diary. They whisper my name when the lights go out. I place towels under the doors, but the voices seep through. A chill crawled along her arms. She moved toward the kitchen. Following a strange instinct, every cabinet stood open. Canned food lined the counters in perfect rows. Dates were written on each with a marker. The oldest was 3 years old. She returned to the diary. Doctor says it is loneliness. Doctor is wrong. I feel breathing near my ear while I sleep. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Lena noticed deep scratches carved into the inside of the front door. Long, desperate lines. As if someone tried to claw their way out. Another page turned. I locked the windows after the face appeared outside. It smiled without eyes. The tapping returned, this time from the bedroom. Slow, deliberate, Lena drew her flashlight and moved forward. The beam cut through darkness, thick as smoke. The bedroom smelled strongly of lavender mixed with decay. Photographs covered the walls. Every picture showed the same woman at different ages. Yet in several images, a faint blur stood behind her. Too tall to be furniture, too narrow to be shadow. Lena leaned closer. The blur looked almost human. Her pulse hammered loudly in her ears. She flipped to another diary page. I tried to speak to the neighbor about the footsteps above me. He told me no one lives upstairs. Lena looked up at the ceiling. A faint dragging sound traveled slowly across it. Her stomach tightened. The building had only 3 floors. This was the top, she continued reading. They grow louder when I remember him. The night he left, the walls began to breathe. A photograph slipped from between the pages. It showed the woman standing beside a man with tired eyes. His face had been scratched out violently. The pen marks tore through the paper. Another entry waited beneath. He said I was too much to carry. He said silence would be easier, so he locked me inside my own mind. Lena felt a sudden pressure in the air. The bedroom door creaked, though she had not touched it. It moved slowly toward closing. She stepped forward quickly and blocked it with her boot. Her hands were no longer steady. The diary trembled slightly as she read. I hear him walking at night, but he is gone. So who stands beside my bed? The dragging above stopped. Absolute stillness followed. Then came a single heavy thud directly over her head. Dust fell in a thin shower. Lena backed away toward the hallway. The rocking chair had stopped moving. She was certain she had not touched it. The diary slipped open to a later entry. I stopped eating. If I grow small enough, maybe they will not see me. Another line pressed hard into the paper. They are inside the walls now. A low creak answered from somewhere behind her. She turned slowly. The bathroom door stood ajar. Water dripped steadily into a stained sink. Each drop echoed like distant footsteps. Lena approached and pushed the door open fully. Words covered the mirror in trembling handwriting. "I am still here." She stared at her own reflection framed by that message. For a moment, she felt certain another shape stood just behind her shoulder. She spun around. Nothing waited there. Her breathing grew shallow. Back in the living room, she forced herself to read the final filled pages. If someone finds this, please believe me. I was not alone. I tried to leave many times. They held the lock shut. A loud crack exploded from the ceiling. The light flickered violently. Lena looked upward just as a thin line split across the plaster. From the gap seeped a faint whisper. Not quite a voice. Not quite wind. Her radio burst into static at the same instant. The diary's last written line caught her eye. They only come when another heartbeat enters the apartment. A cold sensation brushed the back of her neck. Warm breath followed it, yet the air in front of her remained frozen. She turned the page expecting emptiness. Instead, fresh ink glistened as though written seconds ago. The letters slowly spread across the paper. "Thank you for staying." The apartment door slammed shut with crushing force. The whisper deepened into something almost pleased. Lena stepped back, her heel striking the rocking chair. It began to move again. Forward, back, forward, back. The sealed curtains trembled though no wind entered. Another line formed in the diary beneath the first. "We are less lonely now." Lena tried the door again, but it refused to open, as if something heavy leaned against the other side. The whisper circled her slowly, brushing past her ears without a body. The diary grew warmer in her shaking hands. Fresh ink spread across the final page while she watched in horror. "You heard us the moment you entered." The rocking chair stopped, then turned slightly toward her without being touched. A shadow stretched along the wall, yet it did not match her shape. Her radio went silent, and the ceiling crack widened with a sharp snap. The last sentence carved itself into the paper with deliberate strokes. "Now you will never leave us alone."